Hi everyone, my name is Ali Ertürk. I have this blog artofhdr.com and I'm now going to make another HDR demo video for my blog and for you. So I have these images shot in LA, so in 2012 March, and was this nice sky at the sunset at the beach, and we then walked to the seaside, and here I processed one HDR before, and the colors, they got lost to the end, and also there isn't really in these images much to see, it's just the water and sky. So therefore I want to process this one, which I have some interesting things here, the parking lot and this tent. Probably will look much nicer, and maybe even this one where there is the part of fun park here. Let's see if we can see a better one. Maybe, how about this one? Yeah, this looks good too. So let's choose one of those. This one has kind of zoomed in, more crowded, more action. And this one, a little bit the foreground, not much. Which one was the one in between giving us? I think it was this one. Yeah, let's choose this one. So I'm going to try this in photomatix. Select all of them with Shift. Then I will go to Export Photomatix Pro. So in the first setting, export setting options, keep this alignment, click, crop align, clicked, reduce ghost artifact. So here I don't have something extremely moving. Maybe this one here is moving. I can choose it. So for that I will use the selective tool, and I want to see the 32-bit image. This one's noise reduction, chromatic aberration, I will do it in Lightroom, Photoshop later. If you don't have them, you can click here, but I am gonna use it, so we'll just keep it like that. So then it will merge by converting them into TIFF, then we'll merge them and give me a window first where I can reduce the ghost artifact by selecting. So in opposite to Nik software, here you are able to choose what is moving. So this can be advantage or disadvantage. You may not be able to choose it well. This is disadvantage. An advantage is you may choose what you want. So here maybe this balloon here, or the guy flying, I'm going to choose it. Probably test some ghost artifact. Right click, mark selection, preview ghosting effect. It kind of should be sharper, which became sharper. We can go back and then choose, and by right clicking choose another source. Maybe choose 0, that it blends much better the selecting area. So you can see if you zoom in, it will kind of create it will remove some of the details. So unless, so remove selection, unless you really choose close to the selection, it will create some artifacts. So I'm gonna choose, make the selection smaller, and then maybe right click and choose the 0 one. That will look, I guess, much better. Okay, that looks good. Anything else moving? I don't see. Let's proceed to the main HDR menu. Let's zoom in 100%, and it will show us the initial 32-bit image. I wanted to see this because I can check the histogram here and then really kind of judge if we needed HDR for this photo or not. If you go to, when you have 32-bit image, if you go to view HDR histogram, it will show us this dynamic range, which is 1800 about to 1. That means it's kind of good. It's not very extreme, not like thousands, but it's good. So if this number is above about 200-300, that means it is good. There is enough contrast in the image. So let's move to tone mapping. So after having this 32-bit, you click tone mapping. So it will give us this options for tone mapping. I don't use histogram, I close it. And again, you have similar to Nik software, you have on the right hand side a lot of presets. So you can click default and then move from there. So if you're curious and see the effect, you can just try out some of them. I mean, here those ones I would never ever use. They look just crappy, actually, too exaggerated. So let's use the default. This dark might look also okay. Anyway, let's use the default and move on. So saturation, my average setting is around 80, color saturation around 70, luminosity is completely depending on the image if we need or not. So I don't think that we need. Even we can darken it a little bit to get better contrast in the sky. And here I think that looks better. Let's zoom in a little bit more again and then make this larger fit. Okay, that looks much better. And detail contrast, that brings in contrast. You can just go to extreme, which I don't really do. I kind of keep around 4, 5, 6, so somewhere there. Light adjustment, that is the main setting, will allow this photo to be realistic or surreal. If you go to left, it looks unnatural. If you go to right, it will look natural. That is the most natural looking version of this image. So I will be close to this one. So I want to see the foreground a little bit more, but I want to really get the focus to the sky. So if you go like this, so you can see if sky is rocking. So here we can do some selective bright enhancement for the brightness. So we can just keep it darker at the moment. And then these settings I usually don't really change much. You can, if you want to bring in more brightness, you can add a little bit more whites. That will overall enhances the lights, and then you can bring contrast with the black, which can be done with the Lightroom too. If you don't have Lightroom, you can just get it here a little bit more black. And the last thing that I want to play here is a little bit the temperature. Do I want it more bluish? Yes. Do I want it more yellowish? Which the sky looks more dramatic. You can see all this enhancement here. But here, this one, so then the sky gets less drama. So let's keep it somewhere in close to the blue. I could not decide actually. So let's keep it somewhere in 0 because I will do these adjustments in Lightroom and then blend 2 different ones. So save and then go back to Lightroom. And this is now it will import the new image from Lightroom here somewhere soon, hopefully. Okay, hello. Okay, it's here. So this is the merge HDR now. You can see I have the foreground and background, the sky much nicer combined from this. Let's go to develop menu and then shrink down these parts that you can see more and start from the beginning and choose, you can always try auto, which look crap here, go back, and white balance, you can choose a gray part of the sky. This enhances the reds and so on. So what I will do is actually, now I'm not going to change it, but at the end I will create 2 images, one kind of bluish, one little bit more yellowish, and then I will merge these ones in Photoshop. Let's keep it now not adjusted. Close this down. you can always click this tone area auto to see if there's any improvement. No, go back, Control Z. So exposure, one touch up, one touch down. I'm gonna do it down actually, one touch down. Highlights, you can increase the highlights here, decrease it, then it will bring more, so you can see more structures in the highlight. And shadows, it will enhance this dark area. So we will lose the contrast, but we will have some more details. We can bring in contrast here. This will do darkening, lightening together. Clarity will give us kind of sharp effect. So can zoom in, and then that is that. If I click Z and if I click Y, it will give us before on the left, after on the right. And again, what I don't like, this sky is kind of going to the clouds getting black. It's not really good sign, so I try to avoid this. So that was because of clarity. You can see it's clarity made it, so we can just decrease the clarity then. Or what you can do is you can selective clarity by choosing the brush tool and then get clarity to 40/30, and then okay, we have exposure here too. Decrease the exposure back. Now I'm just bringing the sharpness with the part that I really want. So I don't want this area getting too much black. Can enhance this one, and overall here we can do enhancement. You can click all, that will show overlay of the mask. So these are the areas now that has been this clarity is applied. So all back. I think we can zoom in with Z and Y will show you before after. So you can see sharper, nicer looking foreground, and this cloud didn't get changed. And back to the original image, done. And we move down from the list, and we can bring in some colors using vibrance and saturation. That will enhance everything. So you can compare before after. So we have now exaggeration kind of here in the foreground too, as well as in the sky. So what we can do is kind of reduce the effect a little bit later. So by using selective tools. So let's get this a little bit less exaggerated. And I used to use this one a lot, but now I'm not using it. This contrast, bringing contrast here. So I kind of prefer to do this in Photoshop manually, where I want to get contrast or not. Because here now it's too dark in the foreground, and sorry, that's from my other demo uploading to YouTube. Let's take it out. So it's too strong. So I'm going to maybe just not use it linear. And if we zoom in and see if we need sharpening, noise reduction, I will do all of this in Photoshop. Do we have any like weird colors at the edges, like lines? That is called chromatic aberration, and it seems kind of okay. I think we should go to 1:1 zoom. Let's bring this in and then click 1:1. But you can see here this yellow, the green, and let's click this. It's take it out already, so it's very, very little left, and we can go and choose this green, and now it should be cleaned much better. You can just compare before after. less contrast image. And to me, the rest looks good. Let's zoom back. Now we are moving to photomatix. So what I'm going to do is export this, edit this in Photoshop. Again, here my problem is going to be that it's going to open it with CS7, CS6, sorry, which I don't want. I want to open it in CS5, but it doesn't show me somehow this export option. And let's see if I open it, if it's going to give me or not. Somehow it doesn't give me like option to choose it, edit, and edit in other application. So we can specify additional external editor. Here we can specify custom, go back, so additional external editor, choose, we can here choose Photoshop CS5, open, yes, okay, right click, edit, oops, it didn't come, edit Photoshop Extra, yeah, I think that meant to be CS5. Now should be going into CS5, hopefully, yes. Let's close this window, this animation window, we don't need, close it, and click Z, fit the screen. Okay, now we have it to work. So in Photoshop, the first things that I do is go to levels, then click auto, and then see what it looks. It looks pretty improved actually, in a way, a little bit strong. Changing the color, we can decrease the opacity. But I see the blues are improved, and that although the sky is losing a little bit the effect, the blues are improved. So we can kind of come somewhere in between. And then we can move to curves to make an S curve. This a little bit up, this a little bit down. That will bring in contrast. So you can see now what's happening is that I'm getting the clouds again kind of blackish. So that opened it though. You can kind of play around with the levels to see what kind of effects you have. So this is without with curves, without curves, with curves, without curves. Actually, this doesn't look so good. Let's reset this or just delete it and add new curves and just a simple S curve, slight S curve. Okay, that looks good. And then I will go to brightness, contrast, a little bit of brightness, about 5 actually, not 50, and then with contrast 10. Okay, that looks better. And I will open this blackness with some dodge and burn issues later. Yeah, here actually I'm losing the sky. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm going to increase this one, get the blue here. I'm going to mask this area. Clicking this layer mask, then choose the brush tool. The foreground color should be black. And then I want to just bring in this drama here. So I don't want it to get too loose, but I want to also have the sky kind of bluish looking. So I will just, I'm painting in 100%. The water, I wanted the color. And let's get down the opacity to 50, and here make a better blending. And maybe a little bit down 30. Okay, now let's check it. Yes, you can see the effect is now at the different parts. Even the foreground, maybe we can decrease. It doesn't also look good, so good. Doesn't look so good in the foreground. We can also paint this area. Okay, and now let's merge this layers and Control J to duplicate the background layer. I'm going to deal with this now post actually. So let's choose the spot healing tool and then go to actual pixel 1:1 zoom and start from corner of the image, and then somehow I lost the increasing brush size with bracketing keys. That function is not working somehow. A little bit more. Okay, so then now just traveling through the photo at 1:1, we will remove the spots or dirts here. I mean, I could also remove the guy here, but I just think it's okay. He brings in some movement. Here there are some interesting things going on. We don't know what is it. Fortunately, it's not changing. Yeah, here I can see now the keyboard was changed to Turkish. Okay, let's Control Z this one, and now we can make it smaller and then the finer adjustment in this dirty areas, which you don't really want to have a lot of unrelated. So, okay, that looks good to me. Zoom back to full screen. Now what we will do is, so this is a clean thing. Merge it, Control E, Control J, duplicate. Now we will do Dodge and Burn. Choose the Dodge tool. So now we can enhance, for instance, this tint and exposure. If you just directly type in the keyboard, let's say 25, it will make it 25. Now I just want to enhance selectively some stuff in the foreground, some part of the foreground. You don't have to do all tint, some part of the tint. So you want to get some focus on some parts, but not everything, right? You just don't want to get distracted. Maybe here you want some little bit more action. So this, take it back, so just in the middle, it doesn't go outside of the wheel. Here a little bit, maybe you want to enhance a little bit this one, and that wasn't good. Maybe you want to enhance this one a little bit more, little bit this reflection here, and a little bit some of the cars here, okay? Not everything, so that we know there are cars. Let's go to, and also I want to just make the scale a little bit darker and this cloth a little bit less blue, okay? And let's go to burn. So burn this area, it will give me better contrast, and this cloth will be much nicer looking, and maybe around the edge of this one. And we can also kind of bring the focus to the center by darkening the edges, right? Here with these tracks, we don't really need to see them much, so we can just darken a little bit. And let's see what else. Maybe here darken. We don't need to see much of those things. Darken more. Maybe here a little bit more darkening. So a little bit decrease the border and enhance now this little bit the reflection or the colors on the sea by going to sponge, saturate. Get this to maybe 30% and then decrease the size. And now I'm painting selectively through this water, and then it will enhance. You can also enhance the sky or this line, you know. I think here's now too much, kind of get bluish there. So I'm gonna go to history and then back, history panel, maybe start all this thing again. So just selectively a little bit, okay? Here the colors are missing to the left, and then I can enhance this one. I can enhance the tent area. So it's like as if it's really burning the tent. And then this one I want to enhance a little bit the tent area here. Okay. So here a little bit more. Here a little bit more, the reflections. And okay, and then desaturate, we can go to desaturate and remove this kind of bluish looking area. There was too much removal, a little bit more, that's okay. And also let's work on this tent heads, which looks now blue. We can just remove this blue by desaturating. Of course it desaturates every color, but the strong color is blue, then it should go away. Okay, so let's check it before, after. So we didn't have here much of a focus. We don't know where to look, but now we know where to look. We like the tent and the sky and this wheel here. So we can a little bit enhance the sky actually, or this wheel. What I'm gonna do is to enhance the sky a little bit, darken around the clouds. Okay, and then make it lighter, more. So this didn't go well. A little bit selective enhancement. Here actually I have to darken around the tent. It kind of looks fakish, right? There's too much white here. Choose the burn tool and then take down this area. And you can kind of move it to the sides that it blends in. So you can burn this area a little bit more. So actually burning brings more life, more light or light actually to the sky than Dutch tool. So just remove this one, a little bit darken. I think so our eyes focuses here, maybe travels here, back to the sky, kind of S here, right? I think that's good enough. A little bit, remove this one. So we kind of direct with the light. So we make a path from light here, 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 and then travel through the sky, or scan from left to right. So before, after. Looks good. Merge them. Duplicate the background color layer. Control J again, and then I want to do sharpening here. Filter. I use Smart Sharpening. Smart Sharpen tool. That's kind of too much for the sky. We can kind of decrease this. Even decreasing reduce will help. Let's see the improvement. They're pretty clear in the foreground as well as the background. Let's accept this adjustment. Go to actual pixels. See if there's noise. I don't call this noise. This is pretty good actually. I'm okay. So you can see without sharpening. You know, with sharpening we have really get this thing moving. You know, we can again use the sharpening tool to focus if we need to get things. Some things are more focused, and we don't want those things to be sharper. Can just mask it. But here, since they're already dark, we don't care much because they're not really taking much attention. I'm merging the layers, Control E. I'm saving the data. Control S. Now you see this is turning, it's saved, and then when I close this, I should be back to Lightroom with the new file. You can see now this is the edited file, written edit, comes from Lightroom. And this is before going to Lightroom and after Lightroom. So we can just compare them side by side. Let's close this one, even that one, everything close. After Lightroom, only no Photoshop yet, and with Photoshop. So you can see clear difference what Photoshop can make. So these local changes could be done in Lightroom too, but it would be pretty difficult. Still, the brush tool and so on, they aren't as great as playing around with Dodge and Burn in Photoshop. If they bring in this Dodge and Burn as tool in Lightroom, they would do really great improvement. Okay, we are done. So just go back to our last image. So remove the compare. I'm just as last thing is what I'm going to do is to export this. Let's give a name for this. I don't know what can we say this. Export name. I'm usually having hard times to name the files or the images. I always give the place name that I know where it comes from, then the title. So let's say call this like the Funfair, Los Angeles Funfair, the beach, or let's call it Fun at the beach, maybe. Okay, so we are exporting as 800 pixel resized for block. And then if you go and export full size for print purposes, full size, no size reduction, change the name, and I add FS means full size, and no size resizing, sharpening for paper, that's for print, and it will be done. Okay, we are done. Thank you very much for watching, and keep following me. And please leave your comments and suggestions what you would like to hear more. Goodbye.